Do look like Egyptian woman with Russian flavor. Hello my beautiful YouTube family, and I'm back with a rant. So before I start, I just want to make sure you understand I'm angry and I'm fuming. I hope I won't swear in this video, but if I do, please do forgive me, okay? So the story starts around 6 months ago. I just started dating my boyfriend at the time. We went out a few times and it was like officially our first proper date. Like, we went out before for coffee and things, but this was like a proper, you know, dinner date and blah, blah, blah. So the idea was like this. I would pick up a taxi and meet him at his. He used to live, back at the time, he used to live like 2 minutes away from city center. So we thought it's a good idea for me to pick up a taxi, meet at his, and then we go to city center. That was the plan. That's what we wanted to do. So I called a taxi and oh boy. Let me tell you what happened. So I chose the, I think, affordable taxi. I like the reviews. And to be honest, in the city we live in, there's like, the city is like really small, but you have like 10,000 taxi companies for some reason. So I chose, I think, a decent one with good ratings and good reviews, blah, blah. So I called the taxi comes. I sit in taxi and the guy starts chatting me up, which would be fine. I don't mind friendly people, but he was like overly, so he was like, oh my god, you look so beautiful, what are you up to, where are you going, are you going to night out, or blah blah blah, whatever, because I think it was Saturday or Friday, and I said, no, I'm actually going for a dinner, like a dinner day with a guy I just met, and he was like, oh really, so you boyfriend, girlfriend, like, are you married to a guy? And like, for me it was really weird why he asked if I was married to a guy, like, kind of weird. Doesn't matter. This is like a minor thing. So I said no, but he is a husband material and I really like him, and he asked me if he knows that and if I would invite him for a wedding and stuff like that. I'll just like over it. I'll just like laughed it off. And after he was like, oh, you smell so nice, what's the name of this perfume? And I said, the name of perfume is this and this. And he was like, oh, do they do a men version? I said, I don't know. He said, could you please check it on Google? And I did. And he asked me, oh, what was the price of the men version and where to get it? And I was like, okay, man. And I was like really working now, almost working for the guy. Now he was working for me. So by the end of our journey, the guy was like really asking me too many things, and I felt really unsafe at this point and like really uncomfortable. And I was thinking, man, like, you're a taxi driver. Your job is not to ask me 1,000 million questions. Your job is just take me from point A to point B, and that's it. And like, leave me alone, you know. And I think, you know, for the taxi driver, it should be some sort of like a policy not to talk too much to your customers, because that can come across as like sexually abusive sort of thing. Of course, he is in the front, but still, it was too much. I felt uncomfortable. So, you know, I told my boyfriend that what happened, we just laughed it off and forgot it. And I was, at the time, I had a good, well-paid job, and I used to take taxi quite often. So I would do big shopping, I would grab a taxi, I would go to job, like after I finished my work, I would grab a taxi. And one time I met the same guy, and I was by myself again. So he was like, oh, don't you remember me? And I was like, yeah, I was sorry, I forgot. And then somebody rang and I was on the phone, so he wouldn't talk to me too much. And then the third time, the same taxi driver came. I was with my boyfriend. We're in town. I think we had a dinner or something, and we went to mine. So we pick up a taxi, and the guy was like, oh, don't you remember me? I'm like, And he was like, oh, it's me. I pick you from this and this street. So he remembered the street I used to, like, I was living the street. He remembered the street name where I used to live. He remembered the street where he took me. And he remembered how long ago was that. And that was like around 1 month ago we're talking about now. So I was like really creeped out. And then he was like, oh, look. And he started having conversation with my boyfriend. He's like, oh look, she doesn't remember me, so she won't remember you tomorrow either. And then he asked if this is the same guy, and I'm like, yeah, he's my boyfriend now. And he was like making some jokes that I'm a bit dumb bimbo and some things like that, and we just tried to laugh it off, but I felt offended, and I felt, come on man, I'm paying you, you know, you need to be as nice as a pie, you know, you need to be cool as can be, you know, come on. This is not an interview for the smartest and best memory ever, you know, like, come on, what the hell. I was really, really angry, like, you don't imagine how angry I was. But my boyfriend said, oh, come on, just laugh it off, whatever, don't mind the guy. And the last time I saw this same taxi driver was actually a week ago, and that got me so fuming. And I was by myself, I've changed my job since, so I couldn't afford taxi as much, but this job I have now is more relaxed and like it a bit more. So what happened, I did a big shopping and thought, oh, I'm tired to take it all home, just let's call a taxi. So I called the same taxi again, stupid me, never learn from your mistakes, obviously. So the same guy comes, but I don't remember the guy's face. You know, like, because I always see him from behind, I just see his forehead. So I never remembered how he looks like really. And I try not to have eye contact with the taxi driver anyways. Like, it's not something like, you know, I'm not trying to make friends here. Not to sound mean, but it's true. So the taxi stops by the place I asked them to stop, like by this supermarket. And I asked him, is this taxi for this and this street? This is how you do it in the city. And he said, sorry. And I asked him again. And then he said, is your name Natasha, I think he said. And I said, no. Yeah, it's you. Yeah. This is taxi for you. And I was like, okay. I weirded out a bit, but I didn't thought nothing much of it. I thought, okay, fine. So I sit in the taxi. We're on our way. He's taking me home, and he asks me, oh, so how is your boyfriend, how's the job? And it clicks me, this is the same stupid ass guy. This is the same guy. I was fuming. You don't imagine. I was like, what? And he started to be like, oh, you don't remember me again. I said, come on, man. I always just see your forehead. How am I supposed to remember you? And we're not friends for me to remember you. You're just a taxi driver. He got a bit offended, and he said something like, oh, so what's happening now? You don't look as beautiful as before. And I was like, are you for real? Are you saying this for real? Like, how much more like rubbish, you know, should I take from you? You know, I am a customer. You should treat me nice. I don't expect you to treat me like a queen, but just have some respect. Like, come on, chill. So he was like, oh, how's your boyfriend? Where he's working at now? Does he live still on that street? And he said the name of the street, and I was like, and it was like, we're talking about now 6 months back, you know. He took me to his place, to my boyfriend's place where he used to live like 6 months ago, and he still remembers the street name, and I was like so in shock. And I was like, no, we live together, blah blah. And he was like, oh, what he's doing. And I was trying just to answer the questions, like really like yes or no, or not give too many specific information, like not to give names of the jobs we have so he doesn't turn up there or whatever. And I was just like, oh, he just works at let's say supermarket or something. Like, that's it, you know. You don't need to know where my boyfriend works or where I work, you know. It's bad enough you taking me to my house and you know where is my house. So, you know, in the end, he took me home. I took my bags. He asked me if I want him to take my bags to my door. I said, no, thank you. I'm fine. I was really pissed off. I was like really angry for like a day or two. I told my boyfriend the story, and he said, that's it, you know, call them and give them, you know, what you think. But what I decided to do, I just don't call the same taxi ever again. You know, of course, maybe I should have like called and leave them a bad review or like give my feedback to a manager or something. But in the end of the day, I think this guy works there 6 months, so he probably, you know, well known for being this way. So probably people know he's this way. So if they are blind to see it or don't wanna like, you know, don't want to replace him or don't want to give him proper training how to deal with customers. That's just the way it is. I'm just bye. I just call next taxi, you know, next company. So next company be getting my money, not you. That's it. And I think in the end of the day, you know, stay safe. You know, even if you take a taxi, I think what I haven't done, but what I should have done, is take maybe the plate number of the guy, of his taxi, or maybe his name or something, like, just to be on a safe side. Because in the end of the day, when like, while I'm talking to, like, to the camera, I wanted to say to you, while I'm talking to the camera and trying to explain what happened, I realize I haven't, you know, I haven't recorded his name. I don't know what's his car plate number. I don't know what's his registration number. Nothing. I just know the company name. That's it. And I just know it's maybe a guy in mid-30s or like late 20s and Asian looking. That's it. I even don't remember his face. You know, and that is so dangerous, to be honest. And don't forget, I think taxi drivers have some sort of buttons that they can lock your doors while you're inside of the cab. So that is, you know, really unsafe. I hope you enjoyed it anyway. Sorry, I was just like flustered. Not flustered. I was really stressed out about what happened. I'm really pissed off. I feel like I was treated really, really poorly as a customer. And it's I kind of felt threatened in a way, like someone tried to intervene in my private life, and I really hated it. So, you know, learn from me and be safe, and learn from your mistakes. Don't call the same company twice. Or maybe if you have something what I encounter, call them and tell them what you think about the service or about the taxi drivers they have. That's all I really wanted to say, guys. Just stay safe, okay? Peace out.